In this video, we will talk about the basics, the shortcuts, and even the various pages like the recipes panel and the trends page. Hi, I'm Two-Siders. Knowing the user interface in Against the Storm will enable you to play at a higher level. Even if playing on Prestige 20 is not one of your ambitions, it will smoothen out your gameplay to make it more fun and convenient. Press the like button if the video was helpful, press the subscribe button for more Against the Storm guides, and check out my beginner's guide by clicking on the link in the top right. Mini Two-Siders is going to show you a very basic but important thing in case there are new beginners in this video. Hovering over an item will show you where it can be gathered or indeed produced. For instance, these planks can be produced at the crude workstation, and this is why it has a blue tint over the name of the building. There are also different stars next to the name of the building, indicating the, efficiency of the recipe. So, for instance, you need 6 clay or 6 bricks to produce 2 bricks at the crude workstation. We only require 2 clay and 2 stones to create the same 2 bricks at the brickyard, so it's more efficient. Speaking of the encyclopedia, when you press escape, you can go into it. Now, this is so good that you basically never have to check an external wiki ever again. You can find resources regarding the buildings. So if we type in, like we typed in pickled goods, it will show you all the buildings that can produce that item. But you can also search for cornerstones. Here are all the cornerstones that have something to do with ale. There's information about the traders, the species, that is really important too, and various game mechanics. Clicking on these little arrows next to the species will show you their needs. You can even click on here to open up the recipes panel. Hovering over an item or service item will show you which races like it. It's a very similar scheme to the buildings that can produce it. So beavers and lizards are highlighted because we have these races, but foxes are not highlighted because we don't have them. When it comes to service items, so for instance, not only will it show you the buildings that can produce it and the races that like it, but also the service buildings. You probably already know this, so let's quickly go over these top section of the UI. At the top left, we have the amount of population, the free workers that are assigned as, of course, builders automatically, homeless villagers. Here we have the amount of water that we collected. The reason why we have so much stuff is because I'm doing a training expedition with like 10,000 of every item, but this is a good way to check what resources you have. Here we have the year 4, the season, how long until the next season. Now we have a storm. It's worth noting that hostility is at level 3, and if you hover over this hostility bar, it will really nicely tell you how that level 3 69 nice number is reduced. Like the amount of villagers and the years and whatever produce extra hostility. Here we have the forest mysteries. The positive ones only unlock in the drizzle season as far as I'm concerned. The negative ones depending on your hostility level. One thing that I feel is often overlooked is the building upgrades. When you click on a building, always check out the upgrades tab. It's kind of hidden. You might not know about this unless you've already discovered it. Some buildings are more important to upgrade than others. For instance, this geyser pump can be upgraded to be automatic and not require any villagers, but a bunch of buildings can be upgraded. I cannot show you the mine. It's super important to upgrade the mine because it unlocks more resources deeper down in the earth, but even species-specific housings can be upgraded. If you don't see this tab, it's because you need to unlock this in the Citadel. You might be a lower Viceroy level. You have the rain engine, and this took me a while to figure out. These sliders are not actually sliders, like I'm clicking and dragging these, but it doesn't work. Well, it's because you need to left and right click like the UI or the tooltip shows you. I just don't know how to read. You can hover over these to check what buffs you receive as well. Let's talk about the shortcuts related to overlays. So it's really difficult to tell which resources we have around the map, but the B shortcut comes to our aid. This is one of the most useful shortcuts in the game. Once you learn it, you will use it all the time. It's worth noting that it doesn't show fertile soil, but it's kind of easy to see fertile soil anyways. The control shortcut shows you the recipes. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time in my life that I ever used it. Not because it's bad, but because I am bad. You can use this to enable some recipes. However, to check which ingredients you want to actually use, undo some ingredients, you will have to actually click on the building to do so. You cannot just use this to navigate this well. So maybe this is why I haven't been using it. The tab shows you the rain punk overlay. You can connect pipes this way. Of course, you can connect pipes by just clicking on the building, but this is an easier way. And similarly to the building, you just left and right click these sliders to operate how many or how much water you will be using on that given building. I don't know why it's a separate shortcut, but if you press Z, or I guess Z if you are from the UK, you can see the amount of blight rot produced by the buildings where you use the water. You can also do this by clicking on the ancient hearth and clicking on this blight rot tab. I'm not gonna go into blight rot too much. All I'm gonna say is mention that it's also the percentage is also shown in the bottom right here next to my arm. Hang on, there. And you should probably only worry about it if it reaches above 100%, because as you can see, it actually shows you here on the hearth, 3 villagers will leave if it reaches 100% and corrupts the hearth. We are not in the right season, but in the storm season there's also a bar over the hearth showing the corruption level. But that's it. When you press Z or Z, it will show you the number of blight rot spores on the buildings. The ancient hearth shows you the total. So this is not, we don't have 6 blight rot spores, we only have 3. And the ancient hearth shows you, crude workstation plus brickyard, 2 plus 3 here. The Alt shortcut is really important as well, and I'm ashamed to say that I've only recently figured this out. So in case you don't know how this works, maybe you've been trying but you couldn't really get this to work. Now, obviously you left click to assign people. I have 2 humans at my mouse cursor. I can assign these at the granary, but how do we unassign them? How do we switch between races? Again, you just right click to unassign these humans, and to swap between races, all you need to do is use the mouse scroll wheel, and bam, we have I always call them dwarves, beavers. We have 0 lizards, so if we want, for instance, lizards at the Trapple camp, just right click from the crude workstation to unassign them, use them here. This is really useful to check every now and then, because you might unlock new buildings where you didn't have enough, I don't know, lizards to work in the smokehouse. You just use beavers, but now you have enough lizards in the next year, so you can just unassign them or assign humans at the granary here because they have a bonus. I kind of wish the icon at the mouse wheel would kind of like light up if you are hovering over a building, because it's hard to keep in mind that humans have this grain bonus, whatever it's called. But once you assign them, you can kind of see the moving wheel icon, or the, I don't know why it's not blue, but the comfort bonus specialization, right, with the lizards at the ancient hearth here, for instance. Finally, let's talk about the trends page, the consumption panel, and the recipes panel. You can see the shortcuts here. So for the trends page, it's O. This is probably the most important one. When you click on an item, you can see this is the last 5 minutes and this is the last half an hour. In case you didn't know how to use this, you have to basically click on here and you can see the inflow and outflow of these objects. So for instance, dyes were produced at the cobbler, and if we were to use dyes for, I don't know, creating paste, it would show you a downtrend. This half an hour section is useless as far as I'm concerned. Like, you cannot click on here and check the operations. It doesn't do anything, so I only really use the past 5 minutes, but it's kind of a small time frame. I wish this would be implemented. This is most useful, unfortunately, when you're already realizing that you are running out of an item or you are losing a glade event because of this. So if we needed, I don't know, planks for a glade event to burn down an altar, and kind of losing already, something is using up the planks, we can check which buildings use up the plank. We have too many planks here to even see a difference, but this is a way to sort of work on your recipe limits, I guess. Next page is the recipes panel. Like I said before, I'm not going to talk about everything in the recipes panel because that would take the entire video all by itself. It's really, really useful. Bunch of stuff were added as of 1.4 as well. Before I forget, there are limits you can set in the warehouse and also the recipes panel for how many of a certain item you should have before building start using it, but don't play around with this too much. I'm not sure if they changed this, but if you set a limit, then it would carry over to your next settlement, which would sometimes lose you the game if you forgot about these limits. Anyways, the recipes panel, the main thing I use it for is checking if I already unlocked a recipe or not. So for instance, I'm wondering if we can create jerky for our lizard friends. I type in jerky and I don't have any building, so I don't have a building to create that. However, if you click on show all, now you have all the buildings, and we can just confirm by hovering over the jerky that no, we don't have any buildings for that. If you click here, instead of showing you the what ingredients can create jerky, which ingredients require jerky, and in case you didn't know, you can create skewers from jerky. So in case you are not seeing some recipe, then you might need to click between here. You can also sort by various categories. Another useful thing is checking if I already have luxury goods, a building for luxury goods unlocked or not. So yeah, check out the recipes panel by pressing U. All sorts of information here. Again, if you'd like me to create a video about this, then let me know in the comment section below. Finally, we have the consumption control at the shortcut I. This is the place where you can basically prevent your villagers from eating or using various food items. It's useful to, for instance, untick the raw food items like the meat and the eggs that is super difficult to produce unless you have a ranch or big camps. You can untick these and then they will not eat it. However, keep in mind that just because you unticked meat here, meat will still be used as a recipe if on various items. So you have to manually go and untick it here, or the recipes panel. The consumption control will not help you with recipes. If you untick a certain item from up here, like if you do like biscuits, speed up the time. So humans and beavers and lizards won't eat biscuits, but you can even just like do it by race. If you untick a item, so beavers cannot eat biscuits, it will actually incur a small enough but significant enough rationing anti-bonus, whatever the anti-bonus word is. You can also untick various service items in case we need tools for training gear to unlock a glade event. You can untick it here and then they will not actually use it up in service buildings, and same goes for clothing items. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your UR related tips in the comment section below. Thank you, Mini Two-Siders, for your help. Like and subscribe for more. Check out my secondary channel for Against the Storm replays, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.